What is up, everyone? Welcome to another movie worm list. Now, this is going to be the top 25 best films that I've ever seen. Now, making this list, as you can imagine, was not an easy task. I sort of know my top 10, I've known it for a while, but putting 25 in there of the best I've ever seen was really tough. A few films had to miss out here that I wanted to put in, that I feel like should be in, but at the end of the day, I can only pick 25. Now, there are thousands and millions of films out there, and to pick this many was so hard. But I feel like I've got quite a good list here, but just go in this remembering that this is my list. I'm not saying this is the 25 best, it's the 25 best that I've ever seen personally. Now, just before I go in, I just want to say, I think there's a difference between favourite and best. So, let's say, for example, Die Hard with a Vengeance is a film that I can watch over and over and over again, but I wouldn't put it on the 25 best that I've seen. There's some films on this list I've seen once, not many, but there is one or two that I have seen once and I knew instantly that that was one of the best films ever. So, bear that in mind when we go into this. Now, I have had a lot of fun doing a list, even though it was hard, but hopefully this will give you an idea of what films I like. Now, I know this is the start of my channel and I just wanted to get this out there, but in 2 or 3 years I might do this list again and it might look totally different. There's a film called Parasite coming out here in the UK next month. It's been out in America for a while and everyone was giving that a 10 out of 10. So who knows, maybe that could be in a list in 2 years, or some films that are considered classics that I haven't seen yet. Like, there's some in the top 250 on IMDb I have not seen yet. But in 2 years' time, I may have, and this list may change. So this is, up right now, my top 25 best films I have ever seen. So let's just crack on with it. Enough gibbering, and let's just crack on with number 25. So number 25 is going to be Die Hard. Yeah, I struggled with number 25. There was a couple I wanted to put in here, but I just went with Die Hard because I think it's one of the best action films of all time. Bruce Willis's best role, easily. He's a great hero and there's a great villain to counter him here, Hans Gruber, played by Alan Rickman, and it's basically just these terrorists going into a building and they want to get into this safe, and it's up to John McClane, played by Bruce Willis, to stop them, but he's sort of hiding in the vents and stuff, and his wife's in with the hostages, and you don't know what these terrorists are going to do next, but there's so many great moments in this film. Yeah, it's just Bruce Willis at his best, really, and it spawned loads of sequels because it was that successful. But yeah, Die Hard, such a classic. I think most of you have seen that. One of the best action films of all time and one of the best heroes of all time in John McClane. So yeah, number 25 is Die Hard. Number 24 might be a bit of a surprise here. Maybe not to UK residents, but to a lot of people outside the UK it might be, and that is going to be Dead Man's Shoes. This film cost less than £1 million to make. I think it cost £720,000 to make, which is just incredible considering I think it's one of the top 25 best films of all time. Yeah, this is sort of a revenge film. It's a guy called Richard, played by Paddy Considine, and he's just a ruthless fella who just toys with these goofy criminals and these goofy sort of gangsters who think they're gangsters. But it all takes place in this quiet town in the middle of the countryside, and it's so real. But Richard just loves to toy with them and let him know that he's after them, and these gangsters are just sort of like don't know what to do next because they're suddenly gone from fear to being in fear. And there's so many great moments, like at the first 5 minutes you will just sit back and go, whoa, okay, this guy's not messing around. And there's sort of other things with all this, like the gang come up to him and he's just doesn't even flinch, and Richard's just like, do what you think, what are you gonna do? Go on, do it. You know, and it's just, there's a scene where like Richard's got this gas mask on and this guy's coming down the stairs after having a load of weed or whatever, and Richard just bangs on the window and that guy's running up the stairs, and it just really is relentless Richard in this film, and such a great character. And Shane Meadows created something amazing here. He made This Is England, which is a great film, but this to me is his best film and one of the best British films of all time. 24, Dead Man's Shoes. If you haven't seen Dead Man's Shoes, please just watch it. Number 23 is going to be Forrest Gump. Tom Hanks, absolutely amazing. He just plays this guy who's got a very low IQ, and it just tells the story of his life and how he's become so successful just by being a nice guy, really, and saying yes to some certain things that may be out of his comfort zone or whatever. And Tom Hanks won the Oscar for this. I can see why. I think it got Best Picture as well. I can see why. It's just a film loved by many. You know, it's just so many great moments. You've seen Forrest Gump, you know what I'm talking about. It's just a real feel-good film. Tom Hanks, nearly everything he's in, he just makes it even better, doesn't he? Yeah, I can watch Forrest Gump anytime. So yeah, 23, Forrest Gump. Number 22 is going to be Stanley Kubrick's best film in my opinion, that is A Clockwork Orange. Based on the book by Anthony Burgess, who sort of created his own language in that book, and it's put on screen here, and it's amazing to hear. It's just, how'd they come up with this stuff, you know, watching Alex and his droogs just speaking this language out, and come and get one in the yarbles, you know. It's just, oh yeah, it's just so much great dialogue, and there's so many, like, Alex is just relentless. He's just a fiery character who just, he thinks violence is great, and he's into Beethoven, and he's just a confident young man, but violence is his thing, and obviously they do this experiment on him to try and cure him of this violence, but not everything goes to plan, if you get me. But it's just an amazing film to look at as well. It's so colourful and set in like a futuristic Britain, I think. But yeah, it's just, Stanley Kubrick created something brilliant here, and one of the best films ever made, in my opinion, definitely. So, number 22, is that? 22? Clockwork Orange. Number 21, and I'm not usually into musicals, but this just has to be here, The Wizard of Oz. Stands the test of time. You know, you can see that this film is made on set, and there's like strings pulling the lion's tail and stuff, but it just stands the test of time. I mean, you notice it, but you don't care because the film is that good, and when it transitions from black and white to colour, is just amazing. I think this is the earliest film on this list. I might be wrong there, but yeah, just a feel-good film for everyone. Everyone of all ages can watch The Wizard of Oz. I mean, the characters in this film are great. You got Dorothy, the Tin Man, the Scarecrow, but to me, the Lion is one of the best movie characters of all time. The way he's just scared of everything, and you know, he doesn't count sheep because he's afraid of them and stuff. It's just an amazing film. The Wizard of Oz is near perfection to me, if not perfection. Not much more to say. I think most people have seen this. Yeah, number 21, The Wizard of Oz. Number 20 is going to be the latest film on this list, and that is Joker. Joaquin Phoenix, absolutely amazing. I hope he wins the best lead role for an actor in the Oscars because he deserves it. Todd Phillips, who only made the Hangover films before this, well, not only the Hangover films, but best known for the Hangover films, just shows the world that he can direct. It's got a total 70s feel to it, like a Scorsese-esque feel, and I love it. It's gritty. It's just, there's so many moments where I felt tense. There was moments in the cinema when my fiance was grabbing my arm, like, and there was people like sort of cheering. The train sequence, I won't ruin anything, but there was like sort of people cheering for Arthur and stuff, quietly to themselves. But yeah, you're just so immersed in this film. It's just absolute brilliant film. It's like based in a superhero world or a comic book world, but it's so real. It really is, and it just shows you if you leave people on the sidewalk in life, what can happen, the consequences. Arthur Fleck, just an amazing character. I really hope they make a second. Some people may disagree, but I want more of Joaquin Phoenix as Arthur Fleck / Joker. I just want more of this. I would love it to be incorporated into the world of the next Batman film. I just think it'd be amazing. But that's just my opinion. But yeah, number 20 is Joker. And number 19 is going to be Alfred Hitchcock's best moment is Psycho. Yeah, such an iconic film, isn't it? I mean, this could have been the start of slashers. I'm not saying it's a slasher film, but it's what made slashers, sort of, this and Halloween. Anthony Perkins as Norman Bates is just an amazing character. He's so charismatic, and then he can just change into this crazy looking guy. It's just, yeah, such a great performance by him. I love the way halfway through the film is, you don't expect that to happen. It just goes boom, and then goes to a totally different setup. And that happened in the middle of the film, which is so different for that era. Alfred Hitchcock surprised everyone. The ending is just unbelievable. Like, yeah, Alfred Hitchcock was actually outside the cinemas here begging people not to ruin the film for people going in. And obviously I didn't know by the time what happens, but if you've seen after the first time, I think that would have been a shocking moment. But yeah, it's one of them. It feels like a milestone in cinema when you're watching it. You're thinking, yeah, this is how films should be made. An absolute masterpiece by Alfred Hitchcock, and that music, yeah, unforgettable. So number 19 is Psycho. Now this one, number 18, might split opinion here. A lot of people will say Psycho is probably the best horror film of all time, if you count it as a horror. Some people do, some people don't. I certainly do. But this one might split opinion a bit more, and that is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the 1973 version. Tobe Hooper, absolute masterpiece in horror. Psycho is a good horror film, but this is pure horror. It's my favourite horror film of all time. The Outback is such a lonely setting, and to find this house in the middle of that Outback and what's going on inside, it just seems so real, like this could really happen. And if someone was doing all this stuff in this house, this would be the place to do it, in this Outback, because it's just hidden from the world. There's no help for these characters who are on like a little day trip, and it just starts out as a day trip and ends in a massive nightmare for them. The scene where Leatherface just grabs that girl, she's broken out from the house into the sun and the brightness, and he just pulls her back into the darkness. That is just terrifying. It really is. And this is based on a true story as well. Just a gritty, dirty horror film that I love. And the last time I watched this, I didn't realise how, not terrifying, but uncomfortable it is to watch. I love the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I will talk about this more on the channel in future because it's just so amazing to me. I just love this film. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, number 18. Number 17 is going to be American Beauty. Yeah, Kevin Spacey, sorry about that. But anyway, I love his role in this film. He's like this guy who's just like gets bullied by his wife and stuff, and halfway through he just starts not giving a shit and just basically says fuck you to everyone, and I'm gonna stand up for myself here, and I don't care, and I'm gonna do what I want. And I like that about his character. But it's just the whole suburban American neighborhood feel of this film that I love. I love films that are set in these neighborhoods with these big houses and stuff. I don't know why. I just the feeling I get when I watch it. I just like to be in that location. But yeah, American Beauty is such a good film. It's like the neighbours who move in next door, like the young kid who's got like 1,000 videotapes in his room. Speaking of which, but like the ones that he's recorded, and he's recorded like a plastic bag flying around flying around the place, and he's just like watching it for 15 minutes, and he starts crying, and it's like, this guy's a little strange, but you sort of take to his character, and like his dad's a Nazi, and it's like there's just these mysterious neighbours, and Kevin Spacey's just like doing his own thing next door, and his wife's going cheating on him and stuff. It's a strange story. If you ever seen Desperate Housewives, it's like a glorified version of that. I don't know. It's not. I don't even know if it's about anything really. It's just a fun film to watch. I love American Beauty. I haven't seen it for a while, but I might go back to it soon. It's a great film. There's his daughter who's just getting used by this girl basically, who just like is in love with herself, and she uses Jane to feel better about herself. But yeah, it's a weird one, American Beauty, but it's such a great film. It's hard to explain and put my finger on why I love it. Maybe you should just watch it for yourself if you haven't seen it. But yeah, number 17 is American Beauty. Now, number 16 is not a film for everyone. It's considered by a lot of people to be a great film, who like movie critics and stuff, but I've recommended this to a few of my friends and they just didn't like it, and that is Fargo. I just love it. I love the Coen brothers. They're great with some of the films they made, but this is the perfect black comedy film. I think this got made because they couldn't get the Big Lebowski done, and they'd done this in between. I think, don't quote me on that, but it's just such a good film. It really is, and about this guy who wants his wife kidnapping, so he gets these other two guys to help him, and he says, I'll give you 40,000 and I'll keep 40,000 off her wealthy dad who's going to pay the ransom. So it's like a little three-way deal they've got going. But the main guy, Jerry, decides that it's going to be £1 million and doesn't tell these two kidnappers, and he's going to keep 960,000 for himself and give them 40. But yeah, as you can imagine, everything just goes wrong, and yeah, it's just the main guy, Jerry, is so innocent as well, but it's hard to explain. He's just sort of so sly what he does, but I don't think he goes into it with any bad intentions. And the two kidnappers in this, one of them never speaks. It's hard pressed to get any words out of him, and the other one doesn't shut up, Steve Buscemi. And that's a great chemistry they have, but there is no chemistry, if you get me, because that's what makes it work. They're just total opposites. And it's just a really good story, but with lots of black comedy thrown in, the perfect balance. A lot of people can't look past the accents in this film, but if you can look past that, there's something for you here. Doesn't personally bother me. It's more of a nostalgic film as well to me, because I've seen it at a young age and I've seen it so many times now. I love Fargo, yeah, so that's number 16, Fargo. Number 15, this gets in a lot of people's top 10 movies, this, and I can see why. I watched this on the big screen not long ago, and I loved all of it. It was just, it's an amazing movie, it really is, and that is Goodfellas. What can you say? De Niro at his peak, Joe Pesci, amazing. I think he won the best Oscar for supporting actor, rightly so. He is just a horrible character in this film, but you love him. It's just Martin Scorsese's best movie, it really is. So many great characters. You got Liotta, De Niro, Pesci, they're all great leads, but all the side characters as well play a part. That's what I like. They're not wasted. They've all got their own great little lines of dialogue and stuff. There's so many great scenes in this film. The shoebox argument, the shine box argument. I love that bit with Billy Batts and Joe Pesci's character. It's just great, it really is. And there's a guy in this who just says, I think he just says like one line, and his name's Jimmy 2 times, and he goes, I'm going to go and get the papers. That's it. And it's just brilliant, it is. I mean, everyone remembers that scene, and that guy's in the film for like 1.5 seconds. It's just little touches like that make this film so great. It's funny, it's brutal, it's a great story, it's a true story as well. The only thing that lets it down for me is the last 20 minutes. It's got this vibe going all the way through the film, and the last 20 it just loses a bit. Some people may think that's down to because the way the story goes, but there's depressing moments in the story before that's carried the same charisma and vibe. The last 20 just lose it a little bit for me. If it weren't for that might have been higher on this list. But number 15 is Goodfellas. Number 14 is going to be The Terminator. James Cameron made cinema history with this, didn't he? It's just an iconic piece of cinema history. Arnold Schwarzenegger, there is no one better to play the Terminator, and this film shows why. He is just absolutely relentless. He will not stop. And I sound like Michael Biehn in the film there, but he just won't. All he cares about is getting to this Sarah Connor who's going to give birth to this young lad called John in the future and stop all the machines. So Arnold Schwarzenegger is sent back through time to kill her before John can be born. And it's a really clever film, you know, really cleverly the way he thought of that. I think James Cameron actually had a nightmare, and that's how he thought of the film. But yeah, it's just the Terminator, you know, it's more like a slasher film. Some consider this a horror because Arnold Schwarzenegger is just going around basically killing all these people. He's going after every Sarah Connor in the phone book, and then the scenes where he just shoots a fucking police station up, kills about 17 people, you know. It's just a great movie, and the score is amazing. It's just, it makes you feel like the future is quite scary, because I'm not saying this could happen, but you never know because technology is so advanced now, and it's technology that takes over the world in this future, and it really does make you think. But number 14 is The Terminator. Love that film. Okay, number 13, I've cheated here. I'm sorry, but I don't want to clog every space up with these films. It's going to be Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, and Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. I think these two are a little bit similar in the way it's the start and the middle, but you know, it's the start of Frodo's journey and how all these characters come together, and there's so many good ones, like there's elves and dwarves and a man protecting Frodo on his journey to destroy this ring. Yeah, the Battle of Helm's Deep in the second one, it's just Peter Jackson has created something unbelievable here. Middle Earth, he's created Middle Earth so that when you're watching, you are totally immersed into this world. It's just amazing to look at. The way he's created it, alright, it's off a book, but the way he's put this to film is just absolutely incredible. The extended editions are even better, which are just behind me there. Lord of the Rings, wow. Fellowship and Two Towers, equally as good in my opinion. So yeah, number 13 is them two. Okay, number 12 is a film I only seen fairly recently. Like I said at the start of the video, I hadn't seen any film, and this was one of them until Christmas just gone, and that is It's a Wonderful Life. James Stewart, absolutely amazing. The character he plays in this, you root for him so much, you want him to succeed, you fear when things are going bad for him, you jump for joy when he succeeds in life, and every good step he takes, you're happy for him. You know, he brings joy to so many people. I will watch this every Christmas from now on. But even if it's not Christmas, you can still enjoy this film. You just have to, it's absolutely perfect. It is. It really, from here now, well, from the last one, 13, all these films are probably a 10 out of 10 to me, and this is one of them. This is one of the films that I've seen once, and I know straight away that this is a masterpiece. It's just absolutely amazing, and the character of Clarence adds to the final third goes in a little tiny bit of a new direction with like a bit of fantasy involved and stuff. It's just incredible. It's just such a feel-good film. I felt great after watching this, and I just felt like Christmas. Yeah, it didn't really feel like Christmas to me. I watched this and I went, yeah, Christmas is here. Yeah, number 12, It's a Wonderful Life. Right, number 11, I'm just going to let you in a secret here. This is the best prison film of all time to me, and it's The Green Mile. The Shawshank is not on this list. I did want to put it on there, but to me, this is just such a better film. It's crazy to think that Frank Darabont actually directed both of them films. It's crazy to me. But yeah, this film is just... It's on for 3 hours, and it seems like it's not on for long enough. You are so immersed in what's going on in this prison. So many great characters, from Paul himself to Percy, who's the horrible prison guard. All the inmates have their own little side story going on, and you sort of feel for them because they're all on death row, and you know that they're not all bad people. But just an amazing, amazing film. Everyone loves The Green Mile. I did want to put it in my top 10, but I just feel like the next few films take the extra step. But The Green Mile, I could watch this anytime. Don't care how long it's on for, it's just amazing. Tom Hanks again. Yeah, number 11, The Green Mile. Number 10 is going to be The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. Just takes that little extra bit step extra step compared to the other two, in my opinion. I love the way everything gets tied up here. I think it's a longer film. I think this one's on for over 4 hours in the extended ones, but I don't care. It's an amazing achievement in filmmaking. It really is. Peter Jackson again, like I said in the other, number 13, has created something amazing here. He really has. And to see all this story tied up, it was sad to see because I wanted more. I mean, they get them in The Hobbits, which are good films, but I just think Lord of the Rings is the perfect trilogy, in my opinion. All films are 10 out of 10. Usually in a trilogy, one of them will let you down, but this one, they're all 10. Every one of them. And it was interesting to see Gollum's backstory in this one. I enjoyed that. But yeah, Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, absolutely amazing. Number 9 is going to be my favourite foreign film of all time, and that is City of God. Yeah, this is a rough story. It's brutal. And there's 3 intertwining stories here, and it goes from like when these kids are small to when they grow up. It just shows you how brutal some of the slums in Brazil can be. There's kids shooting adults, there's adults shooting kids, and that might seem a bit extreme, but it's there, it's necessary to the story, just to show you what this is meant to portray. And there's a character in this called Little Z, and he's called Little Dice when he's younger, but he is absolutely brutal. He is one of the best villains I've ever seen on screen. He really is, and there's so much of him in this film. He's a scary guy, he really is, and he just doesn't care about anyone. Doesn't care. He'll just kill you without thinking about it. He just rules the streets, and it's about this other kid who wants to get out of that. The main guy, he just wants to get, I think his name's Rocket. He just wants to get out of these slums and be successful in life, but he's got to overcome all these obstacles with Little Z getting in his way and stuff. But City of God, absolutely just a masterpiece. It really is. So number 9, City of God. Number 8 is going to be the perfect heist film, and that is Heat. This film is quite like Inception, really. It gets better every time I watch it. I notice little things that just make it better to the story. There's basically Robert De Niro, and he's a robber. Al Pacino is the cop. It's the cop and robber story. But there's actually a scene in this film that you'll probably know of where them two are in a cafe and they're sort of daring each other to do what they want to do, saying that they will outsmart each other, but they're also warning each other at the same time. Michael Mann directed a brilliant film here. He really did. Just a brilliant crime film. It really is. Brilliant crime heist film. Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, 2 of the best actors ever. Well, in fact, the two best actors ever, in my opinion. And Robert De Niro was just like this perfect career criminal, and he puts this other guy on his squad called Waingro, who's just trigger happy and just fucks everything up. But if you haven't seen Heat, you need to watch it as soon as possible because it's just an amazing film. Absolutely love it. So number 8 is Heat. Number 7 is going to be The Dark Knight. Probably my favourite cinema experience of all time. Christopher Nolan's best film. What a filmmaker he is. You know, I don't know what else to say, what hasn't been said about this. I love the superhero story that isn't too over the top. It's quite realistic. Heath Ledger, I don't like to compare him to Joaquin Phoenix because they're 2 totally different Jokers. This is the aftermath of Joaquin Phoenix's, but just so memorable. He's one of the best villains ever, and it's so sad that he died after this film. It really is, because he would have went on to greatness. He really would have. It's just an absolutely amazing performance from him. Christian Bale's great in this. You've got Michael Caine, just a brilliant cast. You know, Two-Face coming into the final there just adds to the entertainment and the wow factor of this film. It's just absolutely amazing. It really is. And Christopher Nolan, I'm so sad he's not directing Batman films anymore because I love all 3 of them. But yeah, number 7, The Dark Knight. Number 6 is going to be a film that I didn't like when I first seen it, and then I watched it again when I was a bit older, a couple of years later. Maybe I just didn't get it because I was a bit young when I watched it, but that is Fight Club. David Fincher, one of my favourite directors, made so many great films, hasn't he? But I think this is his best. This is Brad Pitt's best ever role, and Edward Norton's here as well. He's one of my favourite actors, so them two together are just brilliant. The ending will blow you away. Not to give anything away, but they go from like a fight club to like sort of a terrorist organisation, and it's just, I went into this just thinking, oh, this is about fighting and stuff, but it's much more than that. It really is. It's just a brilliant concept, a brilliant film, and it just makes you think, like, do we need all these things in life, these little pieces of furniture that are so we pay over the top for and stuff? You'll know what I mean when you see it, but just, I can't talk anymore, because the first rule of Fight Club is you do not talk about Fight Club, and the second rule is you do not talk about Fight Club, so there you go. Number 6, Fight Club. Okay, getting into the cream of the crop now. Number 5 is going to be Aliens. Yeah, who doesn't love this film? Right, number 1, Alien 1 was a great horror film, it really was. James Cameron took this in a new direction, and it was the best decision he could have made, because I don't think he could have, if he went for the same way Ridley Scott was doing the first one, he would have failed. And to do this as more of an action film was just genius. What makes this film so great is the characters. This is such a strong cast. We've got Vasquez, got Ripley, of course, one of the strongest female characters ever. You know, there's Hudson, who's just fucking telling joke after joke after joke, and his dialogue's great. I just love him in this film. Got Hicks, you know, the slime ball bear, you know, it's just total great mix, and them characters just make this film so memorable and so iconic. So many great scenes, you know, there's when Ripley has to go back in for Newt, the young girl, and the Queen aliens got her, and she's got like 15 minutes to do it in before this place explodes, and just nail-biting stuff, it really is. James Cameron, it's, you know what, this film just gets better and better and better as it goes on, and you're watching it going, how can you get better than this? How? But the 4 films below actually did. But number 5, Aliens, amazing. I can watch this all the time. It's just absolutely brilliant. James Cameron, well done, sir. Number 5, Aliens. Number 4 is going to be Pulp Fiction. My favourite director of all time, Quentin Tarantino. This is his finest moment. I did want to put Reservoir Dogs in this top 25. It just missed out. It was so close. Django weren't even far off, to be honest, but this is his best film, easily. Now, when I was about 13, 14, I started watching all like gangster films and more adult films, and you know, I got into Goodfellas, The Godfather and stuff, and I'd always heard of Pulp Fiction, so I went out and bought it with my Christmas money. Come back and thought, yeah, I've got loads of films to watch now over Christmas while I'm off school or whatever. I put this in the DVD player, watched it, was amazed, and watched it again straight after, and I don't ever do that, ever, but this film, it just blew me away. I just couldn't believe how good it was. Quentin Tarantino, he can make a conversation at a dinner table seem like an incredible scene in a film, and it is, yeah. John Travolta and Uma Thurman, you know, they're just talking at a table, and it's just so immersive, it really is. He is the master of dialogue, and that's what I love about his films. Some people said Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was boring, but to me it was amazing, because I loved all the dialogue stuff. But here, it's just, the way he writes films is just unbelievable, it really is. He's a freak genius, he is. I can't remember who said that about him, to be honest, but that's what he is. He's a freak genius. Just, this was only his second film as well, so you can imagine the hype that was surrounding him after this. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, the characters in this are just so memorable, and I love the way it's 3 intertwining stories, and at the start we've got a cafe robbery, and then at the end we're back to the cafe robbery, but Samuel L. Jackson and Travolta are sitting in there, and you're just like, whoa, this is gonna go down now. I did not see that scene with the gimp coming at all. I just did not expect it. I was like, this is a gangster film. Next minute, there's a fucking rape scene in it. I'm like, what? I was just, Tarantino does not care to go that extra little bit of distance, but he does it with masterful filmmaking. And yeah, number 4, Pulp Fiction. Most of you have seen that. Number 4, Pulp Fiction. Another film I was lucky to go and see on the big screen not long ago for its anniversary. I think it was its 25th anniversary, and that is Terminator 2 Judgment Day. The best action film of all time, easily. Arnold Schwarzenegger, what they've done here with him in the T-1000 was amazing. Like, if you didn't know what was going to happen back in 1991 at the cinema, when these two machines are walking towards John, you are probably going to think that Arnold Schwarzenegger is the one who's going to kill him. And the way James Cameron, again, with his sequel, changed it, like he did in Aliens, brought Arnold Schwarzenegger to be the good guy in this. Again, masterful. And he didn't make the villain just this bigger than Arnie or anything. He done it totally different and went like for this slim guy who's just like looking around and stuff. And just the T-1000 is just one of the best villains ever, isn't he? You know, relentless, absolutely relentless. Just got knives coming out of his hand and putting swords through people's mouth and stuff. And it's just like, wow. Terminator 2, what a film. And this is one of the films on this list that I can watch over and over again and never get bored. It's just amazing. Terminator 2. Yeah, this is actually like John being born, after the aftermath of number 1. And what I like about this as well, we talked about Ripley as being a strong female lead, but Sarah Connor is my favourite female heroine ever. She goes from this young innocent girl in the first one to this strong female character, and she's just, all she cares about is protecting John in the future. And it's just, yeah, James Cameron again, just totally turning everything on its head and getting it spot on. Number 3 is Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Number 2 is going to be The Godfather. Al Pacino, amazing. Marlon Brando, amazing. James Caan, amazing. It's just an amazing gangster film. It really is. What I love in this film is Al Pacino's arc. At the start, he's like this young, innocent guy who doesn't want to get involved in the family business, who's Marlon Brando's character, who runs this big mafia family. And he's just been off to the war and stuff, come back, and he doesn't want to get involved in any of that. And at the end, he's the Don. It's like from where he is at the start to the end is just unbelievable. The best character arc I've ever seen in a film. His personality changes, but he does it at all the right heights, like at a steady pace. So it's not unbelievable. Well, obviously it's not unbelievable. It's believable that he can just steadily grow as this character. I just love it, and there's so many great scenes in the film, and just what a film. Number 2, The Godfather. Number 1 is going to be The Godfather 2. Yeah, this is how you do a sequel. It is Al Pacino, the best role he's ever been in. This confirms to me why he's the best actor of all time. He's just a guy you don't mess with. Robert De Niro's here too, because this film acts as a prequel and a sequel. It could have just been a prequel or a sequel on its own and it would have still been amazing, but the fact that it goes back and forth just makes this even better. Absolute masterpiece. The best film of all time, in my opinion. I've seen it a good few times now. One of them, it just gets better every time. Never get bored. It's just absolutely iconic. The ending is iconic. Al Pacino, again, just makes this film, doesn't he? Number 1 is The Godfather 2. So that's it, everyone. I really hope you enjoyed this list. I had a lot of fun making it. I've got a lot of ideas for future top 10s. Got more reviews coming, whatever. But if you like this video, maybe subscribe. If you want to comment your top 10 or whatever on the list, I will reply to every single one of you, because I just love talking about films. So I know a lot of you are going to disagree and go, where's Star Wars, or you know, whatever, but this is just my personal list. You know, I do like Star Wars, it's just, no, that's it, I like it, that's it. So yeah, be sure to check out for more videos, and I'll see you all soon.